We have an attorney with us because it's been interesting as we're going around and have these conversations around the state, and parents are asking about opting out and having all these questions. So we have Deborah at the end. What we'll do is when it comes time for after Terry, I think we'll move right to questions, and I think I'll have Deborah standing up here because you may have lots of specific legal questions. At least the parents in East Haddam had those things last night. So I think we're about ready to go. So we're a coalition of parents and teachers who come to our state capitol to demand change. In 2001, No Child Left Behind promised education reforms that would have every child in our public schools reading and writing and doing math at grade level. They said we would do that by 2013, December 31st. 1.2 federal dollars was allocated, and the states and the local governments contributed nearly another $9 million for costly education reforms. Well, people, the data is in. These reforms have failed. Albert Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results. The standards, the Common Core standards, the first part of NCLB, we did standards. The required was to create new standards and create new assessments. Now we're on to doing the same thing all over again, new assessments, new standards. We have reviewed the research. We examined best teaching practice. We consulted parents and teachers, and we find that current education reforms to be neither research-based or modeled on best practice. We've also found no evidence that parents or teachers were partners in the development of these reforms. Dr. Diane Ravitch, America's most renowned education historian, writes, American education has a long history of infatuation with fads and ill-considered ideas, and the current obsession with making our schools work like a business may be the worst of them, for it threatens to destroy public education. Who will stand up to these tycoons and politicians? She's asking who will stand up. Ring every bell, shout it on every corner, tell it on every mountain. Connecticut's parents and teachers and educators are here today standing up to the bullies. Yes, we're proudly standing up for our state's children. Parents and teachers united will not be defeated. We lay claim to an educational system built not on test scores but rooted in the preservation of our democracy. We're opting out parents, Connecticut badass teachers, Connecticut badass parents, defend public education members, and SOSers. We believe parents should, and in fact do have the right to opt their child out of statewide testing. Nevertheless, excessive actions by Commissioner Breyer of the State Department of Education have resulted in misinformation, confusion, and intimidation around this issue. Parents' rights must be reinforced, the Commissioner stopped, and the trust in the Connecticut Department State of Education restored. State mastery testing in all public schools starts in March. The legislative session is short. Concern is imminent. The statute states, each school shall take a statewide mastery examination, where we say there should be no mandates on children, and parents should be given a choice. We demand that parents be given the right to opt out of state testing they feel is harmful to their children. We demand a legislative agenda that addresses the concerns of children and parents, and we believe parents should be given a choice. We have 5 basic points we're asking the legislature to consider. One is give parents the unquestionable right to opt their child out of statewide standardized tests. Create a Common Core review committee, and one that includes parents and educational experts. Every time we look at Common Core committees, we see those people lacking. Establish a legislative authority to mend or end the implementation of Common Core national standards. extend the moratorium on Lincoln statewide test to teacher evaluation to sufficient information is available to determine the suitability of using test scores for such purposes. And finally, we think it's time that we create an independent panel of professional educators, teacher evaluation specialists, and testing experts to conduct a thorough review of the standards use of mastery test scores as the single most important measure in education evaluation. Thank you. I'm going to introduce Gloria Brown.